A young black boy, hungry and without much to his name, did something that would change his life forever. On his way home from school, he encountered an elderly couple struggling to buy food. Without a second thought, he gave them the meal he had just bought. He didn't think twice. He just acted out of kindness. But what he didn't know was that his simple act of generosity would set off a chain of events that no one, not even him, could have ever predicted. The next day, a millionaire knocked on his door. What could this mean? Was it fate or just a coincidence? Keep watching, and you'll find out. Wait a second, tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Jamal had always known struggle. At 18 years old, he had spent his childhood in a small apartment on the outskirts of the city, surrounded by challenges and dreams of a better future. His mother worked long hours at a local diner, while his father, though present, struggled with addiction. Despite the hardships, Jamal maintained a heart full of hope, one that kept him going through every tough day. It was an ordinary Wednesday when Jamal's path crossed with that of an elderly couple at a bus stop near the corner of an intersection. The couple's hands shook as they tried to count their money, a meager amount, trying to decide whether they could afford the food they needed. Jamal watched for a moment, his stomach growling, before he did something that surprised even him. He handed over the lunch he had just bought and walked away. It wasn't much, but it was all he had. Jamal didn't think much of it afterward. His day continued as usual, and by the time he got home, his mother was already hard at work in the kitchen, preparing their meager dinner. But the next morning, something strange happened. As Jamal got up for school, he noticed a large black car parked outside his apartment. He didn't think much of it at first. Cars like that rarely parked in his neighborhood. But when he stepped outside, he was greeted by a man in a sharp suit, holding an envelope. The man introduced himself as Mr. Johnson, and as Jamal looked on in confusion, the man handed him the envelope, explaining that it was a letter for his family. Mr. Johnson smiled politely, saying, "I've been looking for you." Jamal's heart raced, unsure of what was happening. Was this a mistake? He didn't recognize the man, nor did he know why someone in such fine clothes would be at his door. Mr. Johnson turned to leave, only to pause and add, "A small act of kindness has a way of changing everything." Jamal opened the letter, his hands trembling. It wasn't just any letter, it was a check for $1 million. Along with the check was a letter from an anonymous donor explaining that his gesture had been noticed. The elderly couple he helped the day before wasn't just any couple. They were the parents of one of the wealthiest men in the city. The donor, grateful for Jamal's selfless act, wanted to give him a life-changing gift. Jamal stood frozen, his mind unable to comprehend what he was holding. How could this happen? Was this real? He had given up his lunch without a second thought, never imagining it would lead to anything more than a fleeting moment of kindness. But here he was, holding a check that would change his entire family's life. His mind raced, but the only thing he could hear was his own heartbeat pounding in his chest. Was this the turning point he had always dreamed of? Jamal's life would never be the same. With the money, his mother was able to leave her exhausting job and start a business. Jamal himself enrolled in a better school, and for the first time in his life, he felt the weight of his dreams lifting off his shoulders. The act of kindness he had shown that day didn't just change his circumstances. It showed him the power of giving, even when you feel you have nothing left to offer. But Jamal never forgot the lesson. Kindness had a way of returning, often in ways you could never anticipate. The world, he realized, was full of unexpected twists. He'd given away a meal to help someone else, but in return, he had been given a future. And the real question is, how many more lives could be changed if we all gave a little more than we think we have to offer? How many more lives can we change with one simple act of kindness? The choice is in your hands. Please share your thoughts below and let us know what you think. Where are you watching from? Take care.